On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan celebrates his destiny during the Summer Solstice, and Tony continues his quest. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
I'm here every week, except that one week.
That's true. You have been here every week. I think I have too. So,
like I said, no. I missed that 1 week where you had to do the solo show.
There was a week I missed because I was sick. So neither of us have been on every show.
That's crazy talk.
It is. We're gonna have to, I can't go back in time and fix that though.
Unless we can the episode. So to say we can just go and record whatever and just label it as whatever we want and throw it in there.
I think people would know the truth.
Would they?
I think they would. Probably. So.
I mean, we just put that we're re-uploading due to error.
And then magically everybody's on the show again. I don't know what happened.
See, the plan is too perfect.
Yeah, it's too perfect. That's the problem. So, Ethan, I guess before we get started, we should talk about one change that's going to be coming to I guess it's not really the site, not really the show. I guess maybe the site.
Definitely the site.
In that it's going away.
The site's going away. That's crazy.
The show is not. Don't worry about that. We're not going anywhere. We're just we don't have a lot of time to focus on the site itself, so we're going to move everything here over to the YouTube channel. So you might see some more YouTube content coming. I've got an idea for a video in my head that I'm hoping to have out sometime soon, where I talk about some hopes and dreams and wishes and predictions for who the last two Smash Brothers characters could be.
I was about to ask if you were going to bring back Minivan Confessionals.
Oh, I actually had thought about that as well this week. So,
and then you're wondering where to get a minivan.
It'll have to be like SUV Confessionals now, because that's what I drive. So
okay. Minivan Confessionals, SUV edition.
That's right. That sounds like a weird Law and Order spinoff.
I was thinking the same thing.
So, so don't worry about that. We are not. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. It's just we want to focus on the YouTube channel and not the website itself. So
the audio version of the show is going away in favor of the YouTube version of this, where it's still audio with some video, like always.
Yes. Unless we can figure out a way to do the audio only version, which
I mean, I can do I can treat it like the pre-show where I just take all the footage out.
Yeah, it would suck to go.
That actually
YouTube,
renders so much quicker. It's so nice.
I imagine it probably does. Not having video in your video probably makes it easy to render a video.
Oh yeah.
So, but to go along with that though, in the month of August, Ethan and I we want to give away a game.
A game.
So we're gonna do that. What we want to do is try to boost that subscriber count a little bit. So if we can get to 50 subscribers by the end of August
on YouTube,
we're going to give away a copy of Dragon Quest Builders
for the system of your choice.
Both of us really like that game, and we want you guys to be able to play it too. So it is available on the Switch or the PS4, whichever version of the game you want. We will give that away to one of the subscribers and listeners of the show. So, help us spread the word.
Yeah,
help us tell it.
I don't believe there is a PC version. I'm going to verify that really quick.
There is not. It is just PS4 and Switch. Those are the only versions of the game that are available.
You are correct.
So,
but there is Dragon Quest Heroes on Steam.
That's a good game too, but we're not going to give away a copy of that.
Okay, well, never mind on that one then.
Dragon Quest Builders 2, the game Ethan and I have been putting a lot of time into. It's really fun. I don't know if you guys know that. So we want to give away a copy of that to one of you. So help us spread the word about the show in the month of August, and let's give that game away, shall we? So, but speaking of Dragon Quest Builders, I might as well go ahead and talk about what I've been playing because that's what I've been playing.
Really?
Yeah, I am still on that second island, still trying to make that golem the most fabulous golem he could possibly be. I have
I,
finished the
I
second.
I thought last time you said you were about to unlock multiplayer.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Really?
I think so.
Really?
I'm pretty sure last week I talked about being on the island, the second island. So,
I mean, I edited the show. I'm pretty sure you talked about uh, not that.
regardless, I am on the second island. I am in the desert and trying to make that golem the most fabulous golem he could possibly be. I made him copper. That was pretty easy. The silver portion of that took forever. Like that was a long time that I thought uh, that part of the game took. So finding what 3,000 pieces of silver that he wanted took those miners a long time to do.
It took them probably 5 days.
Um,
I mean, as long as
I
you're
think it.
increasing the morale, they get more and more each time.
Well, I was doing that, building all those little things they wanted. My village is so crowded that you can barely walk.
Yeah, that area is really strange because it unlocks more area to build in as you
Hmm.
progress, but
But
it
initially, you can't build in that area because it's technically out of your village, and so they won't use anything that you build out there.
exactly. And then
But what?
all the stuff you want to build at, you can't build because there's obstacles in the way that you can't mess with.
mm, well, until you get some equipment that will let you do stuff like that. The other thing that I've had to build that has taken a long time is they want a swimming pool, like a swimming pool with a bar and lounge
Hmm.
chairs and all kinds of stuff, and that took a ton of resources. So that thing is huge. I think it's probably the biggest building thing outside of the Deity that you built in the first thing.
Give it time.
I'm sure there's much bigger. Uh, but yeah, so far that thing is huge. And I was hoping that they were going to help like they did with the villagers were going to help like they did with the
Oh,
Deity, but no.
you're not on that build yet, so don't worry about it
So
just yet. There'll be a thing where they'll be out there ready to help.
okay, I'm assuming that's in the gold section
Yeah,
of the
probably.
game there. So
I'm
yeah,
assuming
so
that at the end of each big major project that there's going to be something like that happens where they build the thing
probably.
for you, so you all you have to do is start it and then they finish it.
I've built everything for that swimming pool area except the lighting that needs to be there because you need pieces of gold, which I have not found yet. I'm getting ready to
There is
go and
one additional piece you have to build that you do not know of yet.
oh, great,
Yep.
great.
Yeah, and in fact, you probably have the recipe for it, and just you don't have the item to build it.
That may be true because there are some recipes that I do have that I can't build yet. Uh, but I think I'm getting close to being able to ring the bell again and increase the village and get some more villagers.
Yeah, I think this
Um,
one goes up to level 4 instead of just 3.
I think so. I think so. And watching those villagers swim around in that swimming pool is so dumb. Like it is so dumb. It's waist deep, first of all. So so they're swimming around in waist deep water, and they're these big buff guys with masks with horns on them and leather pants. And the second they touch the water, they're in speedos. And the second they get out of the water, they're back in their leather pants, and you never see them change their clothes or do anything like that. And they're just swimming around in this knee deep or this waist deep water and looking all dumb. Uh,
Yeah,
but um, the game is still so much fun. Like I love just exploring and finding all the different things they're wanting me to build. And building things that they want you to do in the small spaces is almost like a puzzle in and of itself because you don't have a lot of space. until you can expand the village a little bit. And so there have been some things that I wasn't sure how I was going to fit in there, and I made them so small that you can barely open the door, but it counts as the room they want. So like when they go to the shower room, there's 1 or 2 squares that they can actually walk around in inside the shower room, and that's because I didn't have space or the resources that they wanted, but I did enough to get credit for it. So I want to go back and give them a little bit more space when they take a shower. Um,
I'm sure you will.
and the coolest thing, like using explosives in this version in this game is way more satisfying than it was in the first one. Like you get so much basically free stuff just by detonating a bomb in the mines because it clears this huge, it's like a 15 by 15 by what 5 or 6 deep area. It's an
Yeah,
enormous
it's really nice,
space.
and it's all vertical based on where you place the bomb at. So
Hmm.
it doesn't take away your footing down any at all.
Yeah, no. So it
And if
just
it
goes
does, it
up.
might
It
be
doesn't go
one
down.
square, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that.
I don't think it goes. It's not. It doesn't descend at all. It is. It is. It from the bomb level up is all it destroys. So, which is really nice. But I have also used a couple of bombs in places where the rock doesn't explode for some reason, and you have to use your hammer. So,
Stronger rocks, yeah.
yeah, that's the one time I really wish I could use it. Like you can't use the bomb against silver because it takes multiple hits to do that, and the bomb only counts as 1 hit. So I can't use it to mine huge places of silver or anything like that.
Don't make some of the mistakes I have where you place the bombs in your town.
Oh, you didn't do that.
No, I got close to doing it, and I did do it in
Okay,
the. I did do it in some areas.
really?
Yeah,
Oh man.
it,
Well, at
it,
least
it was nothing I couldn't salvage, but it was really
well
close.
also after you've basically gotten the appreciation from the villagers, you don't need that building anymore. So there's no real penalty for having it destroyed because it
I,
doesn't lower your village rating any.
I guess that's true. But I
So
mean,
in
if you want
theory,
those, you want the hearts from what they enjoy, then
that's true. Um,
you might want to leave that building there.
I guess that is true. Otherwise, it would take a little bit longer to get that appreciation. There is DLC available for the game now. I haven't had a chance to pick it up. Did you? I think you said you had bought it.
I bought the season pass.
Have you had a chance to see what any of that DLC does?
I just got access to the what is it, the Bamboo Island,
Okay.
and
The
I,
one I really want is that aquarium DLC because you get a fishing rod.
and oh, that's where that. Okay, yeah, I have access to that then because I'm on the fishing island
Okay.
with the fishing rod. That's where I stopped playing at.
Yeah. That's where I would spend so much time fishing because fishing in games like this and Animal Crossing is so relaxing. I could just stand there and fish forever. Harvest Moon was the game that really started that fishing and video game obsession.
I can see that. Yeah,
So it's 20 was it 21 dollars for the DLC
it was
for the
like
season
20,
pass?
21, somewhere around there.
I know the aquarium pack is 9 by itself. There's another one that came out before that that's 5.
And
And I
the two there's two that are $10, one that's $5, one that's free, and I want to say there's another $5 one.
there's 3 bits of DLC that you pay for.
Okay, so yeah, two tens, a five, and a freebie.
Okay. And the third piece I think comes out this week.
Yeah, so uh, the season pass just gives you access to all of that, and you save like $5.
Yeah, yeah, you do. That third bit of DLC is all modern furniture and things like that, so you can make your village look like it's from 2019 and not a fantasy village, if that's something you want to do. So, but yeah, I every night if I'm not playing Smash with with my son. I'm playing Dragon Quest Builders because the game is fantastic. So that is what I have been playing. What have you been playing?
I have not been playing Dragon Quest Builders.
As soon as I'm done with this second island, I'm calling you and we're doing some multiplayer.
Okay. I mean, you're getting close to it.
So I've got it unlocked. I can do it, but I had from the time I unlocked it to the time I started the second island, there was a little bit of crisscross and we didn't get a chance, and I didn't want to leave that island until I was finished with it.
Okay, that's fair.
But I have it unlocked. As soon as I'm done with this, we'll play some multiplayer.
Good, because it might not have been good for me earlier this week to have done that.
Oh
Because
yeah,
Destiny 2 is what I've been playing,
really?
and they are celebrating the Summer Solstice 2019,
Okay.
which comes back again with, just like last year, you get your destroyed armor from the start of the game. You do specific uh, things to repair it, and then you increase it to being a legendary item, and then you can masterwork it. And this year seems, I want to say more challenging, but I got it done within a week, so that I guess that says a lot about it compared to what I did last year. And this time the armor has some slight improvements, so it looks almost the same, but a little bit better than last year's. But you can't. Last year's isn't compatible with stuff, or I don't know. It's a mess. I'm trying to explain this. In other words, I've been doing missions on Destiny 2 to get armor that I'll probably replace shortly after October
Okay.
starts. So last year they had you doing reliving previous missions from or previous story missions,
Hmm.
and unlike Destiny 1 where you could just select the story mission and play it whenever you wanted, Destiny 2 has like probably 5 story missions you can play that cycle out probably I think they cycle out once a day, and so you never get to choose which one you want to play until it's or you don't get to choose which one you want to play just whenever. You have to wait till it's in cycle.
Okay.
This and they were like harder versions of those missions, and things were changed, and it was kind of fun to play through them. This time they added the European aerial zone to coincide with the European dead zone,
Hmm.
and I think I explained it to you as it seems like a multiplayer map that didn't get visualized all the way or something, I guess, and had been sitting on the back burners perhaps.
Okay.
So it's been really interesting because it's just this whole new area you get to explore, and it's kind of a mini boss rush, and it's got a bunch of verticality and buildings you can go into. So there's a lot of exploring to do, and it's up in the sky on a floating island, which defies more Destiny logic than what we're used to at this point. So yeah, I've been enjoying doing that sort of stuff. I got the armor up to the legendary status, which means I completed all the stuff. Now I just have to do the masterwork stuff, which is just gonna make it where I'm either harder to fight or fight harder or make orbs with. I don't know. I forget what that does.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
the
So
real challenge right there, but I can do that part whenever.
the game is still set to go free to play later this year, right?
I believe October's when it's going free to play
Okay.
because there was
Because
a 2 week delay. Yeah, the game was pushed. The next expansion slash or the next expansion and the free to play version that's coming out were pushed back by 2 weeks because I'm calling it quality of life for the developers and testers and
Yeah,
all
they
that.
they basically don't want to just push them to their limits, and if a couple of weeks delay is what it's going to take to get the game out the way they want it, fine. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's none of this where it's like, okay, work overtime, don't get paid for your overtime, but get this game out on this day, sort of thing. I forget what they call that. Rush or something?
Crunch.
Crunch, thank you. Yeah, so it's kind of nice seeing that. I mean, that they're being forward about. It's like, this is why we're delaying it. Enjoy when it comes out.
Yep. And I think people have been pretty okay with that. I haven't seen a lot of negative response to that announcement. So
Yeah, especially with all the news that came to light within the last couple of years about how your quality assurance people are treated at companies and how projects get rushed, and then you end up with Anthem.
yep.
Low
And
blow. I'm sorry, but it's true.
people don't want to end up with Anthem.
Or you could end up with LA Noir, where it's where the development cycle on that game was just horrible and a mess from the reports I've seen and
Yeah.
heard.
I really I wanted to like that game a lot more than I did.
Oh, it's a good game. It's just
Like, and it took forever. That game was in development for a very long time,
I want to
and
say 7 to 9 years or something like that.
yeah,
Ugh.
I actually watched a video on the development of that game earlier this week.
Um, I watched a development video on that last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was watching Matt McMuscles
I think that's who I watched. Yeah,
on what happened.
yep,
Yeah,
that video exactly.
yeah, good
So
times.
we should maybe link to that in the show notes.
I remind me to do that later.
Let me make myself a note here. Uh, so
So
yeah,
so yeah, I've been playing Destiny 2 because
oh.
that's what I do.
I think I will probably still have been playing Dragon Quest Builders this time next week, so people can look
Oh
forward to
wait,
that.
this time next week.
What?
This time next week, I will be fighting for the freedom of the United States in a mech
Oh, you will, won't
as
you?
the 47th president of the United States of America.
What game are you going to be playing next week?
Metal Wolf Chaos.
You are. You cannot wait for that.
I'm so happy to. Oh, I mean, I played it before. I'm so happy to play a an actual U.S. release version.
Was that originally like an Xbox Live Arcade game or just a first?
That was an original Xbox game released only in
Ah,
Japan.
okay.
And there's a what I think there's a what happened on that video or on that game as well.
I don't know
I
about
think, or there might have been something else I saw. I don't know, but
that.
there's one of those.
I think there are 3 games left this year that I'm really looking forward to. So,
Metal Wolf
um,
Chaos, Death
yeah,
Stranding, and
definitely not Death Stranding. Uh, no, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
oh yeah,
That is out in September. Dragon Quest 11 is also out in September, and then in October, of course, Luigi's Mansion 3.
yeah, it's gonna be just jam packed with games all the way up to I think March at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think Nintendo is pretty light for the month of August through the middle of September before Zelda comes out. Um, I don't think they have. Well, Astral Chain, which comes out this week, I think, is what they have in August, and then they don't have anything big like that until Dragon Quest and Zelda. So,
Cool.
but yeah, we're starting to get into that super busy part of the year where tons and tons of games are coming out, and people's wallets just cry. So,
Yeah, definitely crying.
but that it for you?
That is all I've played and that I can think of at the moment.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. Okay, so Ethan, this week the ESA announced, or it was discovered through a YouTuber, I think her name is Sophia Narwitz, that the information for a couple thousand people in the video game industry was made available to the public.
And just to clarify, this is not the European Speedrun Assembly that I talked about
No,
last week.
no, this is the Entertainment Software Association, the people that run E3, uh, and that's really what got people talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's
was
got
that
these are the people that you go to see the big video games. So
Yeah, and in order to get badges to go to E3, you had to give them names, phone numbers, addresses,
DNA or
email
First Child
addresses.
Soul.
Not that much. No, they're not quite that deep into your personal information.
Well, not yet.
Um, but all of that information was made available through. It was basically an accident, but the data wasn't secured properly. There was a link to a spreadsheet that they use that they keep all this information on that they say was basically so that people in the video games industry could reach out to people in press, to YouTube creators, people like that. Um, it's a way for them to get a information out to a bunch of people about their games and see if they'll cover their games, do things like that. Uh, that link was basically made available to the public for a few hours before they realized what had happened and they took the link down. But that information's out there now. So
Yep.
that's how the internet works. Once it's out there, it is out there. So I think the total number of people was 2,025 that were on this list. And so their names, phone numbers, addresses, all of that information is now out there and available to the public if you know how to find those things. We certainly would not uh,
Uh, we
give you the information and the way to find that information.
we definitely don't
But
condone getting the information.
no, and we definitely do not recommend you contact these people, call them. This is their personal private information. Do not email them, do not call them on their phones, do not search out their houses, none of that stuff. um, Obviously it would have been best if this information didn't get out, but unfortunately it did get out. uh, and some people I can definitely see will use this to harass people that maybe they don't like online, that they may not have been able to get a hold of previously. um,
Yeah.
and do not do that. We would never tell anybody to do anything like that.
In fact, if you see someone offering that, just walk away. Say
And
no to drugs and that list.
yeah, basically. Um, and I don't know what will happen if for anybody that got a hold of that information, or the person that was responsible for um, putting that information out there. I know the rules here in the U.S. are different than in Europe. I think in Europe it's actually worse if this information is made available in Europe than it is here in the United States. Um,
Ooh.
like huge fines, huge, like millions of dollar fines, if you are found to be guilty of leaking this information. So, and I have seen some people already saying that they will not attend E3 next year because of this. So this
Yeah.
could potentially harm E3 in terms of the people that are willing to go and cover this event
Yeah, I mean, they're already
because of
hurting
this.
to keep people showing up. Like, Nintendo doesn't necessarily do their full on E3 thing anymore, but they still have a presence there.
Yeah, they still
Sony
have a
was
big booth and they do
completely
3 days of presentations. So
Yeah, and Sony was completely absent this year, so uh, you have to wonder, is E3 going to keep being a thing, and how much this is really going to hurt it at this point.
dude, I really hope so because I like E3 time of the year. I know it's a pain for people that have to go and cover it. for even the video game developers and publishers having to put stuff together for E3. But it's a really fun time for people that like video games and are interested in video game information. It's like the Christmas in the middle of the year for people.
Yeah, but I
So
mean, at the same time, if you consider all the other video game driven
it's
shows,
true.
like there's the what's that one in Japan where I think we got more information on Death
There's
Stranding. So
Tokyo Game Show.
yeah, that one.
I
But
think Gamescom is coming up pretty quick here in Germany, and that's another big show. But video game publishers and developers, they put presentations together specifically for E3 because they know millions of eyes are going to be watching them.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's the perfect time to get information about their projects out there for people who maybe haven't seen any of that stuff yet. So, but yeah, it is that information is out there. Please do not use that information for any nefarious purposes. Uh, but there you go. For people here in the United States, if you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber, Nintendo's going to give you a little treat this week. Here in the United States and in the UK, from August 7th through the 13th, you will be able to play Mario Tennis Aces for free. And I'm
Just
not talking about a demo, Ethan.
okay, okay.
This is the full game. So you could play it nonstop, the entire game, access all of the content for the game for free if you're a Nintendo Switch online subscriber between August 7th and August 13th. In Japan, between August 5th and August 11th, you will get to play Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is the game I'd prefer to play. I'm going to definitely try this out and see if I can access the Japanese version of the game for free because I am a Switch Online player.
Me
Um,
too.
Specifically because Nintendo just updated Captain Toad Treasure Tracker with VR functionality.
Oh, that's yeah.
So that's a game that I think would really look nice in VR. Um, but here in the States, we're going to get a copy, or we're going to get to play Mario Tennis Aces for free for the entire week. So,
I'm sure the majority of the people are looking forward to Captain Toad.
yeah, because that was the first bit of information that came out was the Japanese announcement of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker being available for free. Um, this is the type of thing. These are second tier sort of Nintendo titles that have already run their sales course. Really, they're not selling a lot at this moment, and that's probably why they're putting these games available for people for free for the week. After that week, you will not be able to play it anymore. They are during that period of time offering I think it's 33% discount. I think they're basically
Discounting the
putting it
game
on there
after it's
for
available.
they're putting it on sale for 33% off for the week. So it's normally a $60 game. You'll be able to get it for $40 if you're interested in picking it up. So along with this free week of play, you can get it for cheaper if you want to continue to play it afterwards.
That's
Um,
cool. That's a good way to go about it.
it is really nice that they are giving you a chance to play the full game for free. Um, but these are the type of titles that I think would be perfect for them to not offer for a week. But if you're a Switch Online subscriber, you can play it for free as long as you're a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. Because they're not the top tier Nintendo games, they're sort of second tier that have smaller sales windows and they tend to go on sale a lot faster than things like the Marios and the Zeldas and stuff like that. So these are the perfect kind of games to use as incentives to become online subscribers.
They should. You're kind of saying they should treat it like maybe like the PS Plus discount, where it's going to be on these games. But I think what I would rather see is they do that or do what I'm saying, but keep that discount on there like permanently for subscribers to
Well,
entice them
yeah,
to buy the game digitally.
I do. They do give you a little bit of a discount if you buy it digitally because you get the 500 or the $5 worth of gold coins.
Hmm.
Um, but it doesn't go to that purchase right there. It goes to a future purchase. Um, but these should be the types of titles that they treat like PlayStation Plus or games with gold, where if you're a subscriber to the online service, you can play this for as long as you're a subscriber, because they're not those big games that are going to get millions of sales like their top tier games, the Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, those kinds of things. um, Nintendo's not selling these games much anymore. I mean, I don't have access to the sales figures, but I can't imagine that these games are making a ton of money, and so that's why they're trying to do something like this to give you a chance to play the full game for free, and then hopefully, I think what they're thinking is you've played enough of this game that you want to continue to play it after this free trial period, and then you'll buy it at that discounted rate. Um, but these second tier games like this are the perfect types of games to be candidates for if you're a subscriber, here's your free game for this month or whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I love that they're doing this, and I wish they would do this more. Um, but if Nintendo's going to compete with Microsoft and Sony, they've got to start, their subscription services have to start matching the offerings that their competitors have, and right now they just don't have that. I realize it's a whole lot cheaper, but NES games, as much as I like to play NES games, are not an incentive to get people to subscribe to the service. The only reason they're subscribing to Nintendo Switch Online is because that's the way to play Smash Brothers online.
Yeah, pretty much. Now they
So
started offering like the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and GameCube games, and you know what? We'll throw in Wii and Wii U games on there as well. That, I mean, I could see them pulling in much more interest in their online service at this point.
Well,
Then,
it's one of those things. I continue to see this every month. As soon as they announce their next round of NES Online games, people are always like, call me when you're offering Super Nintendo games. Um,
yeah.
and I just don't think Super Nintendo games are enough, though. Like,
Well,
as soon as,
like I said, not just the Super Nintendo, it's 64, GameCube. Kind of push your limits a
because
little bit there.
the second they offer a Super Nintendo game, the first comment on those videos are going to be, call me when N64 games are available. Uh,
And then from there, it's GameCube, and then from
yeah,
there,
I
possibly
think
Wii.
I think though, once you get past that N64 level, that's going to be when GameCube games, Wii games, Wii U games, Nintendo can repackage those games, remaster those games, and sell them again. So if they can sell them to you for $40 to $60, they're going to do that rather than offering them to you as a download for 20. You know what I'm saying?
Man, could you imagine playing your GameCube or N64 games on the Switch in portable mode while traveling somewhere?
Dude, if I could play Luigi's Mansion on my Switch, that would be amazing. Like, I know I'm going to be able to soon, but I'm talking
Yeah,
that original game. Because the 3DS game, is as much as I would like to play that, I'm not going to play that because it doesn't look as good. It doesn't play as good as the GameCube version.
and it's not
So
the family experience that your family has come to enjoy.
exactly. But that I'm a sort of one-off unique case, I think, in that respect. That
Well, yeah,
that Luigi's Mansion is a family experience for us rather than
or it's like even your wife is like, the kids don't need a trick or treat, do they?
exactly.
That just
Um,
really cracked me up whenever she was saying that too. It was just, all right, that's
no,
pretty
and she did.
nice.
That was the first thing she said was, "They don't need to do that, do they?" Um, and when Nintendo announced that, that did alter our plans for Halloween. I'm not going to lie. Uh, so, but the kids are looking forward to it, and so
It's like Luigi's Mansion or free candy.
they'll get both. So, um, But yeah, I do love that they're starting to do this, and I hope they do this more. And this is not, once or twice a year. I hope this becomes a sort of regular thing for them. That even if it's not, here's the whole game for as long as you're a subscriber, for a week out of the month, it's better than nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I love Nintendo. I love that they're doing stuff, but they are so far behind when it comes to online services subscriptions. They're so far behind their competition. They have to get caught up.
they need to take a huge leap and then work up from that.
So um, there you go. And I don't want it to sound like, where's my free games, because that's not what I'm getting at. I don't care really, but I want them, if they want to compete with other people in this realm, they have to offer the same kinds of things that their competitors are offering, or people are just not going to be interested. So uh, there
Speaking
you
of not
go.
interested, EA is not interested.
Yeah, you saw that this week. EA said that the what was their exact reasoning? They
They
came out and said why they're not supporting the Switch, basically, and it was because they're
they
was it because
they said
players
their players have no interest in Switch
because they can
ports.
get the games on other systems.
Yes. To
Um,
which, see in the comments coming back to that, or maybe players are just not interested in EA games.
there is that. Because there haven't been a lot of EA releases in the last few years that I've been super interested in. I do occasionally play the sports games, the FIFA, Madden, stuff like that, but they're big games. I don't have a lot of interest in. If they came to the Switch, I might. I'd play Mass Effect on the Switch.
Oh yeah, man,
Um,
I'm really wanting to replay Mass Effect, and if they did that, I'm all in. Let's do this.
I think though their reasoning behind that, and the snarky, we're not interested in the EA games. It's joking somewhat, but at the same time, they're thinking that just because people can get these games on the PS4 or the PC or the Xbox, people don't want them on the Switch. That is not true. Um, I think sales for some of these games that have been either re-releases of games that have been on other systems, or ports of games that have come out at the same time. I think sales for those games have shown that people want to play those games on the Switch. Number one, because they're the same experience that they're getting on the other systems, even if it is, graphically inferior, or um, it doesn't run quite as smoothly. It still runs and it runs great, but it's not as nice as the PS4 and the Xbox versions of the games. I think people are much more interested in playing their games on Switch than EA thinks.
It's just EA's got uh, that engine that they don't want to optimize or re-optimize
Exactly, the
to.
Frostbite engine.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it doesn't work on Switch as well as you want it to. Maybe use a better engine. I don't know.
Or just give your game to Panic Button; they'll make it run.
Exactly. Here we go. All of EA's issues are solved by Panic Button.
I'm telling you, Panic Button are a company of wizards. I've been playing their Doom 3 port this week, by the way. I picked that up. Um,
Brave men
and,
play Doom 3.
the problem is that game does the same thing that Doom 2016 on Switch does. It makes me like violently ill. There's something about the way that game moves that I cannot play it for very long at a time.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with you in those games.
It's happened now for 3 games ever, and that's it. I don't have motion sickness issues playing first person shooters like some people do, except for Doom 3, and the other one was BioShock Infinite. Um,
I guess it would happen with Wolfenstein as well.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't played
I'm pretty
Wolfenstein
sure it
lately.
would. Yeah.
But BioShock Infinite, flying around on those zip lines above the ground, I could not handle that. and I don't know what it is. I can play Doom 1 and Doom 2 on the Switch fine. Those are what, 25-year-old games or whatever.
Pixelated
But
first-person experiences.
yeah, that doesn't make me sick. But something about the way Doom 3 and Doom 2016 run, I can play them for about 30 minutes at a time before I start to get, the feeling that I'm going to throw up. So, but yeah, pixelated games, they don't make me sick. And SNK makes good pixelated games.
Oh, they make some of the best ones.
They
And
do.
so they're also considering getting back into the console market.
Yeah, we're getting the SNK Mini or whatever.
No, that's already
Neo.
out.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
true.
Neo Geo Mini is already out.
Yeah, that thing.
But there was a tweet from SNK Global. It said a next gen Neo Geo. Well, I'm guessing this is not the right way to read that. A next gen Neo Geo hardware is coming after Neo Geo Mini with with a modern design and wonderful play feeling, and you can even link it to the Neo Geo Mini. The hardware. I need to read this before I start speaking. For some reason, I did that badly. The new hardware will provide you a Neo Geo journey that you have never experienced. So we're looking at next gen and compatibility with your Neo Geo Mini.
That's an interesting.
That is
Like
very interesting.
like Atari, they're trying to do that with the Atari box. Um, but that thing I think is going to fail miserably.
I'm wondering if maybe this is going to be a way to put more games onto the Neo Geo Mini, perhaps?
Maybe. Um, or you could just hook your Neo Geo Mini up to this thing and run it through that and connect it to a TV, even though you can already connect the Neo Geo Mini to the TV.
Let's
Um,
see, power port, and then HDMI. Is it HDMI Mini or HDMI C? I forget which one it is. And then two controller ports. There's not much else to connect on there.
hmm. Does
Unless it's
that
got
thing
like
have?
some secret Bluetooth connectivity I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested to see what this is going to be, though. Having old console makers talk about getting back into the market, because I'm almost positive they're not trying to compete with like the Xbox and the PS4.
No, I'm sure any new games they make will probably be available on other. Well, not necessarily.
I can't imagine them making their games exclusive to their upcoming console.
Maybe timed exclusivity or something. I don't know.
It all depends on exactly what this new system is going to be. If it's not just a way to, get older games onto a modern piece of hardware.
Well, they did say next gen, so we're looking at something beyond PS4 and Xbox One X.
I guess we'll just have to keep up with this and see what they do. I haven't actually seen the story about this, so I don't know everything that they've talked about.
It's really just that one tweet that
Okay.
I butchered when I tried to read it.
Well, it's probably not translated quite smoothly.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just like a US translated tweet thing or not. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So we'll definitely have to keep up with this story.
Yeah, I mean, at Neo Geo, man, they make some quality products that no
That they
one
do.
that no one can really afford when they come out or later after they are out.
It's true. They're still expensive.
Yep.
We've talked about Dragon Quest a lot during this
Last
show.
3 weeks.
Well, yeah, there is that. We're going to talk a little bit more Dragon Quest because Square Enix this weekend announced that Dragon Quest 11, which is coming very soon, September 27th, we're a couple months away, basically. At Dragon Quest Summer Festival 2019, Square Enix announced, and this is just for Japan right now, has not been confirmed for the West, but I almost guarantee that this will come West as well, that Dragon Quest 11 will be getting a demo on the Switch.
Oh, cool.
So, generally, they make these announcements for Japan, and then a few days later, the announcement gets made for the United States. And all of their previous Dragon Quest games, the Builders, the Heroes, all of those have gotten demos in Japan, and then later were announced for the United States. I would imagine this will be the exact same thing. So Dragon Quest 11 demo, no release time has been announced, but because we're a little over a month and a half or so away from the game, I would imagine it's going to be coming soon. Don't know exactly when. They'll announce that at a later date.
The game's like 2 months out, so
Yeah, that's what
I could see the demo coming out maybe within the
by
probably
the end by the end of this month.
yes at the latest.
So, and just like with Dragon Quest Builders, uh, playing through the demo, your save data will carry over to the full version, and you'll be given a special skill seed that you will be able to use when you boot up the full version of the game for the first time.
Good old skill seed.
So, and to go along with that, they also announced that there will be a special outfit for one of the characters, Eric. Uh, they have a manga that goes along with Dragon Quest XI that's coming out, and the outfit that he wears in that will be available for players in Dragon Quest XI. Um, and also, there will be a Dragon Quest X world available for people to play in Dragon Quest XI. So you can there's a spot in the game that you can access basically content from all of the previous games, Dragon Quest 1 through Dragon Quest 9, and they've now added Dragon Quest 10 to that.
Cool.
So it's like you go back and you play these like memory type things where you can play portions of those other games inside Dragon Quest 11.
That's interesting.
So, but that demo, the release date has not been announced. We expect it by the end of this month. As soon as we do find out, we will let you know. And make sure you don't delete that demo, or at least the save data from your demo, before you play the full version of the game, so you can get that special content that transfers from the demo to the full game. So, but there you go. That will be the news for this week. So we have listener feedback. And our first one this week comes from Chris via Facebook, who wants to know, can you guys talk about Dragon Quest Builders 2?
Yes, we can.
We can if you really want. I don't know that we've talked about it enough already. It's a good game. I don't know if you've heard that. It's really fun. There's DLC for the game. You build a pool that looks really ridiculous. I mean, it's awesome. The pool itself looks really cool, but the people swimming around in it look really ridiculous.
I built a neon sign.
I have not. I want to build a neon sign. I want to go fishing.
Oh man, I've had. I want to talk more, but the stuff I say would be spoiler for Tony. I don't want to ruin that for him.
Yeah, well, I'll be getting there soon enough. Soon enough. So, I just want to play Dragon Quest Builders now, though. I guess we should finish up the show. Our next one comes from Taylor via Facebook. He wants to know, do we think the market for the NES and SNES, along with other consoles of those generations, has plateaued and will see a decrease?
Never.
I mean, those games are always going to be popular. I would imagine there will come a time when those games aren't bought by people who are our age, because eventually we won't be able to buy anything anymore because we'll all be dead.
But... Well, aren't you just so full of excitement here?
I don't know how much the demand for those games will continue with generations past us. I mean,
yeah, we're Tony's being a Debbie Downer here.
Well, I'm just, it's a thing. I have tried to pass on, love for NES and SNES games to my kids. Some of them like them, some of them don't. They don't play them as much as I do. Um, so I think it's natural that it will just continue to decrease and decrease. But I think I don't know, maybe video games are a little different than other things, and there will always be people that are going back and playing those things. So
I mean, it might be plateauing and might be looking at where the N64 and PlayStation and I'm just gonna say that era right there because I mean I can say the other console, but who really cares about that one? Uh, so you might see where those start becoming a little more popular, while
mhm.
these are decreasing in popularity. I don't know.
I think if Sony releases a better version of the PlayStation 1 Mini, that would probably get a
Uh,
lot of interest from people.
if they make it where we can download those games
No
on
kidding.
current systems again,
I
uh,
really wish Nintendo would make the virtual console an actual thing where you can get all these retro games in one system that you put under your TV that has
what?
access to the internet, and
Yeah,
it has a
like the
small
Nintendo
storefront.
Switch.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there is that. But
Well, make it an app on the Switch, but have like your own little console that just specializes for just that.
yeah,
But that's asking a lot for Nintendo, who won't do it.
I think Sony could probably do the same thing with a PlayStation console type thing that gives you access to PS1, PS2 games.
Hey, let's ask the people who made the Ouya to do this.
Yeah, don't do that. That's probably a bad idea.
Good times.
Probably a very bad idea. The Ouya is dead. I don't know if you know
Maybe
this.
Google
Stadia?
Stadia.
Oh gosh.
Maybe they'll make their own version of that.
I feel really bad for Google with Stadia because they're releasing a system that is going to be dead the second it's available. Unless they change their model, their pricing model, their structure like that, nobody is going to buy
I
games from
really
this thing.
think they're gonna just drop that whole thing after a year.
Like it's going to be that next stepping stone on the way to digital streaming future. Um, but it's not going to be the thing. Whatever, possibly whatever comes after that is going to be the thing. And I think Microsoft is going to be the first one to really figure it out.
They might, yeah.
So, I think they'd do it right now if they could. I think they would sell you a system that does not have a disk drive.
You know,
Uh,
I'm gonna bet that Steam or Bethesda do it first, like the proper way.
that's a possibility.
I mean, Bethesda was showing that off at E3,
Yeah, but I
but
don't
they haven't
know.
really talked about it since.
No, they haven't. So I guess time will tell. But then our last one, this leads into that. Our last one from Nathan via Facebook wants to know, what do we think of the trend of all digital gaming? I personally dislike it. I'm more okay with it for PC, but for consoles, I prefer to have the physical disc and box. Unfortunately, even having a physical disc no longer guarantees you can play your game 10 years from now, thanks to games as a service and DRM. So there's a game coming out for Switch soon and I think this has happened before, where you buy the physical version of the game in quotation marks, and it's just a download code. But I can't remember what game it is.
It's not Shenmue 3 because that's a
No,
mess on its own that we haven't gotten to talk about in a couple of weeks.
I don't remember what it is. Why can I not remember it? Um, like I don't mind the trend to digital gaming. My PlayStation is an all digital system. I have almost no physical games for that at this point. Um, my Switch was going that way, but I'd really like to get to the point where I can have multiple Switches in the house, and I'm starting to lean back towards buying physical games for the Switch just because people with multiple systems will be able to play those games. Can't do that with their digital library until they figure out family share. Somebody please shake the executives at Nintendo and make them figure out family sharing. Give us proper family sharing for multiple systems.
I've actually gone back and purchased games that I've bought physically, digitally, because it's just I was constantly switching between these games to play with friends, and it was just like I'm getting tired of switching between these games, and I'm gonna play these for a good long while. Like I'm still playing Destiny 2, so I turned around, bought a digital copy of that, and then a week later it went free for PS Plus. Not
mhm.
gonna say anything about that. But like recently, I bought a digital copy of Monster Hunter because Iceborne's gonna come out, and I don't want to have to constantly switch CDs on that anymore. So it's just kind of easier for me to move on to a possible digital future. But at the same time, I'm still buying physical copies of games. So for me, I don't know how long that's gonna actually last.
I remembered that game that I was thinking of.
Oh, what was it?
Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, the physical version for the Switch, does not give you the game on a cartridge. It is a download code.
And then doesn't it have
So
like a secondary code for friends or for a friend
if
to
you buy
download?
the special edition of it,
Right, right, right.
you get the second code for a friend who can download the full game but can only play it with you. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, Wolfenstein the physical version on Switch, no actual cartridge in the box.
Yeah, really
Which
sad about that new game.
I have talked about this in the past, but I think my opinion on that has changed. I do not like that. Like, if you're going to put out a physical box, put a cartridge in that box.
I mean, it's one thing that the game itself is already bad, but add insult to injury with just no physical cartridge in there.
Yeah. So,
Oh, by the way,
um,
the Wolfenstein Youngblood's a bad game because they
don't.
changed up the mechanics of the gameplay too much on there. It now works on like an RPG system sort of thing. So if you were a fan of the most recent two or three, however you want to count that DLC one,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna this this is just gonna be a different thing.
You want to talk about other things that I'm not a fan of? A few weeks ago, I talked about Crash Team Racing, and I talked about how I was worried that that storefront seemed like it could be uh, a gateway for microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
Activision announced that they put microtransactions into Crash Team Racing.
Is it pay to win?
No, it's pay to get a new cosmetic thing, but still, I talked about that being a thing a while back, and the thing I was afraid of came true.
Yeah. Leave it to
So,
Activision to ruin it.
yeah, that storefront looked an awful lot like Fortnite's storefront, or Dauntless's storefront,
Or Epic Game
or
Store.
yeah. Um, so, uh, the thing I was worried about being a possibility actually happened, and that they will be adding cosmetic things that you spend real money on. So, yay, yay, Activision. I'm not playing Crash Team Racing anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But I have it
Isn't
sitting there.
Disney trying to buy Activision?
I've heard talks of that recently. Like, I think it was Activision that.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard. There we go.
So, um, yeah, because Disney has a great history with game companies.
It's like, don't buy them out. Just hire them to make a game for you. It's much
I mean, they're already
safer.
licensing out their properties anyway. So,
Remember
um,
Lucas Arts games? I remember.
I do too. I remember that the Disney Infinity game was actually pretty good, and then they closed the developer, and we're not getting any Disney Infinity.
Oh yeah, I have a thing for that. That USB thingy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my little sister owned the game. I don't know why I have it now.
That game was fun. And those figures were really nice. Like, they were really...
I just have the, I guess we call it the portal or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
I don't have figures.
That's a useless piece of plastic sitting in your house.
Be kind of awkward to trade that into GameStop.
Yeah, I don't even know that they'd take it. So, there you go. That is it. We could ramble on for some more time if you really wanted us to, but we're out of show notes, so I think that's probably the best time to end the show.
I don't know. I can find some more Dragon Quest news. Hold on.
There's not any more Dragon Quest news. I mean, there's always
Dragon
Quest
Question.
news,
No, that's not Dragon Quest.
no.
Okay, all right, never mind. I apparently
All right.
spelled too much.
Well, thank you very much, Ethan, for being on the show this week.
Thank you, Tony, for being on the show this week.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah, thanks, because it would have been really awkward if you weren't here.
It's true. You could do a solo show.
I'm not Shannon, and I well, he didn't do a show willingly on his own, so.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.